next discussion, and, well, actually, I think I'm taking this one. I'm going to kick us off for the first time in history, actually. This is a unique tour de force. French troops will guard Buckingham Palace. It's a drill approved by King Charles III to mark 120 years of Anglo-French relations established by the Entente Cordiale of 1904. Ooh. The changing of the guard ceremony on Monday will feature 32 French soldiers from the Republican Guard and the French something
Don't do
will
that.
participate in the ceremony, but they won't replace British forces in their traditional role of guarding the King. Now, folks, all I would say to this is I think President Macron, before allowing his forces to defend Buckingham Palace, which I think we're doing a pretty good job at, could actually consider using his troops to defend Calais and what's going on there and the invasion that takes place over that border every 2 seconds instead of this nonsense on Buckingham Palace.
Maybe first of all they can teach you how to say gendarmerie. That's what you were tripping up over there when you were
common as muck you are.
That's what a 20 grand a year school gets.
Oh, can't we just leave the migrant situation for just one day? Let it just be a nice day of the Brits and the French coming together. Come on. We've got a nice relationship with them. Leave the migrants just for one day.
We've
just
given
one
them
day,
over £500 million to sort out this problem. Yeah. And yet now they're being like, oh, let's have some fancy displays at Buckingham Palace.
Yes,
aren't we nice? Aren't we generous?
Why not?
Aren't we getting on very well? Well, no,
I think that's
not
nice.
when you're allowing these criminals to enter our country.
Do you know what happened before the Entente Cordiale? Do you know what the relationship was like between Britain and France?
As in war?
Yes.
Yes, a war that we won.
The point that I'm making is, what the Entente Cordiale is and what this is a representation of is good relations between Britain and France for 120 years.
But why fake it?
And thank goodness we're not at war with our closest relations. Hold on, let me make the point. Thank goodness we're not at war with our closest neighbour, because we only had to look to Israel and Gaza to see what that looks like.
That's hardly the same.
I care more about our relationship with America than I do any European country.
Well, and I tell you what, I think actually maybe there would be some merit to retaking Calais.
What? Are you advocating that we invade France?
I absolutely am. Short, small war, and we retake Calais and have control of our borders.
Albie, no, I get your point. You know, let's save our relations with France, but our relations are at an all-time low. France have treated the UK despicably since we voted to leave the European Union. As Darren said, we pay them, what is it, £500 million a year?
£500 million.
All the border guards do off Calais and Dunkirk is they, as the Sun newspaper brilliantly exposed a couple of months ago, they're paid all this money to stop dinghies getting into the water. Instead, they're off partying down the local working men's club and sinking shots. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. Macron, the way he's spoken about the country in recent years is also a disgrace. And there is no relationship there. Until France stop these boats and these fighting-age males, tens of thousands of them each year, from coming into Britain, there is no relationship.
And we also fell out with them over the nuclear subs, remember, because we're building
the AUKUS deal
for Australia. And the French got very sniffy about that. So maybe that we're just doing this to try and look nice.
Europeans hate French.
What was it that your mate Liz Truss said about the French during her leadership contest?
I don't know. What did
she didn't know if they were friend or foe.
Well,
I mean, how can you say that to our closest neighbour?
They are not our closest ally.
I said neighbour.
They
are our closest.
They are. They're not,
quite
actually.
literally.
They're not.
Well, I've had awful neighbours before.
No, the Channel is a shorter stretch of water
21 miles.
than the Irish Sea.
A part of the United Kingdom is attached to Ireland, Albie.
You know what I mean,
I
Darren.
don't, actually.
No one likes a smart
Anyway, come on, we're going to get Mr. France himself. You like a good old pastry and a bit of Chanel.
Well, I mean, look, I am a great admirer of President Macron. He is exactly my politics.
I didn't know what you were going to say there.
Tony Blair, Hillary Clinton and Emmanuel Macron are people that I think should run the world forever.
Centrist.
But what I would say...
At least you said the quiet part out loud.
...is that you are forgetting the way he... You know, this is about Buckingham Palace. When the late Queen died, I was incredibly moved when President Macron, in the centre of Paris, sang God Save the Queen, which I thought was incredibly powerful. The first state visit was to France.
Oh, OK, still not stopping the boats.
He gave a speech to camera after the Queen's death where he clearly understood on a profound level the value and longevity of Her late Majesty and of the British royal family in a way that I didn't think any other world leader put it so well.
About the country,
think he has a serious respect for our royal family and that institution in Britain. And that is what this is about, because this is about protecting Buckingham Palace. And I think he's treated our royals with a lot of respect.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Every country is out of their depth in trying to stop the boats and stop migrants.
Stopping the boats is the #1 priority of most straight, common-sense thinking Brits in this country. Our culture, our health, our safety.
Well, the boats aren't going down the Mall, so you're all right.
All these people
but
coming across undocumented into Britain.
So, do you think it would be easier to stop the boats with a good or a bad relationship with France?
Do you think it's impossible to patrol properly the beaches of France?
Do you think it would be easier to stop the boats with a good or a bad relationship with France?
I'll answer that question, Albie, because you're saying our relationship right now has never been stronger.
I didn't say that.
Where Mr.
Could you just answer the question then? Could you answer the question?
Well, why is it not happening? You just said we've got this fantastic relationship.
I didn't. I said we've not been at war for 120 years. Now, can you answer the question?
Look our viewers in the eyes and tell them that their taxpayer money, £500 million of it, we've had a good return on that investment.
Look our viewers in the eyes and answer my question.
The answer to your question is that you're talking out of your bottom.
That's not an answer to my question.
It is actually.
What's your question?
You're just trying to say
things.
Do you think it would be easier to stop the boat with a good or a bad relationship with France?
I answered your question. You just said we have a great relationship with France.
I said we've not been at war for 120 years.
We have a good relationship with France.
No, we obviously haven't been at war for 120 years.
So if we have this fantastic relationship with France, why are we being taken for granted and having the complete mickey taken out of us by handing over vast sums of cash and getting absolutely sod all back?
Let me tell you why. Oh, sorry, Ben, you've gone.
No, I think the right answer, and Keir Starmer proposed this at one point, is that you make an agreement that you take a certain number of migrants and then you can actually be serious adults, acknowledging that there is no world in which these people don't exist, in which they stop coming. That isn't an option in reality. So you agree an amount of people and then they can enforce it to stop it going over what's been mutually agreed.
Yeah, that won't be a pull factor at all. That won't get more people to come.
But you don't, Michael. But there's already, 40,000 or something coming in the last year, right? So, and that's not going to stop. I think your argument is so naive because we're only going to see more of this migration in the coming decades, and you need to get real about how much you can cope with.
It stops altogether.